Some big news kind of coming in. We mentioned this in the 7 o'clock hour that there was kind of an announcement that the Washington football team will have a new team name and a new team logo after the season. So in 2022, early 2022, however you define it, winter, spring, they're going to come forward.
I'm glad they're putting a timeline on it because you're kind of wondering, like, when are we going to do this?
Yeah, it's been a while. And we have a letter from Jason Wright. Did Jason Wright write it himself?
Yeah.
Team President
brief.
Jason Wright, President's brief moving forward. And I'll read some lines from this. It says, since we made the decision to change our name, the past 9 months have given us a unique opportunity to reevaluate our organization in terms of who we are today and what path we want to take in our future. The key to that determination is acknowledging and understanding our past. And he goes on to talk a little bit about the past, the Native American imagery. And what he then says is they're going to move away from Native American imagery altogether. And he says it simply. He writes, quite simply, it is the right thing to do. So, that being said, we're not going to have anything that has any sort of Native American connotation, including the team name Warriors.
A lot of people thought Warriors was a big leader because Dan had kind of reserved that name years ago. And it kind of has a lot of the same sort of ideas.
Would you have liked that name?
I think it's fine. I mean, I like Redskins, frankly. I'm sorry.
But
I like
know, a lot of people do.
Wright tackles it head on in the letter. He says, in the spirit of that engagement, I want to address a name that has emerged amongst our fan base, Warriors. One might look at this name as a natural and even harmless transition, considering that it does not necessarily or specifically carry a negative connotation. But as we learn through our research and engagement with various groups, context matters, and that makes it a slippery slope. So they're just trying to get away from anything
they're not
that could head
I can tell you this for a fact.
Native Americans.
We had dinner with Jason. He's a fantastic guy. He enjoys this show tremendously, I think. He enjoys the station. I can say that. He told us, frankly, they were not going to – he told us that a long time ago. Not going to be Warriors. It's not going to be any name that you can find any way where you're going to force them to have to change it or somebody be offended in a year from now. So if you can envision anything at all. So, like, I even think – he didn't say this, but I even think, like, Red Storm, Red Tail. I think
so. Nothing red.
I think red between you and me
is out.
That was your feeling.
If you get a sense that that anybody can come up with something against it, it's going to be
or anything that's similar to Redskins.
I'm telling you, I think Washington football team or even Washington football club are bigger players in this than you realize.
I wouldn't doubt it. If you want to chime in, 800-636-1067. You can call us on
What's
the
left?
Gambit DC listener
If you take
lines.
out the red names, it's not like I've thought about this in the last 6 months, huh?
A million names you can come up with.
No, but like that's been bandied about. Like the red names, let's just assume they're out. We obviously know Warriors, nothing Braves, nothing like that's all out. What's left that they've kicked around that's not in that same
Warlords.
realm?
What about Warlords? I threw it out earlier.
Warlords.
Out.
Agents.
Anything war-related is out.
One that Drab and I came up with. Washington Agents.
Well, remember, they put out a list.
Yeah, they put a list, but they had like 80 names, and like 60 of them were a joke.
Well, here's what Jason Wright says. And, you know, I said earlier when we were doing this in the 7 o'clock hour that I believe they know what they're coming up with. I think they know right now. But what he writes is, we are now down to a short list of final names based on our strategic approach, research process, and insight phase. We will continue to rely upon the insight and support of many of you as it moves forward to a final decision. As a team, we're confident that our new brand identity will honor our legacy and lead us into our future as a franchise. So he's trying to say there's a few candidates. I don't know.
If it was going to be WFT, why would they say, all right, we're going to release the name next spring?
Because I don't think...
Why wouldn't they just say, all right, it's WFT?
Unlike JP, I don't think they do know. I think they are down to 2 or 3, but I don't think they're sold on either one of them yet, any of them yet.
Okay.
So, because if they did know, why wouldn't they just drop it right now? What are they waiting for?
Yeah.
Because of the legalities.
Well, no,
They might need to go through the legal process. Whatever you mean, they got a bunch of
definitely
they got a
gonna
bunch
take
of
time.
they got a bunch
There's
of
no question.
squatters and everybody trying to get money from them for having the name.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, that's just my speculation. I threw out the analogy that it's like when you have a wedding date and it's a year from now. I think they know a year from now we're going to go with, it might be a squeaky lean, it might be a heavy lean, whatever.
I don't think
but
it's
I think
decided,
they know,
but I could be wrong.
Hey, in the spring, this is what we'd like to go with. Let's see if we can do everything. And let's get through the season, by the way, because you can sell your merch, Washington football team merch for another season.
Yeah, maybe there's some rationale
The
behind
problem
it.
with that is that you're not getting it. What, in my opinion, I'm just a know-nothing who's always wrong. But in the second year now, we're getting awfully familiar and comfortable with saying WFT. It's
Right.
becoming
Right.
normal.
Well,
And
who
if they
knows?
win
Maybe
something,
that's
there's
one
a
of the-
history with
maybe
Now,
that's
if you
WFT.
win something, you put on the trophy WFT, and it's going to be like you said in Canton.
Well, what if that's one of the final candidates and maybe they've decided they're going to go
I
with
think it is one of the final
could be.
candidates.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Could be.
I think Washington football team / Washington football club. I actually think club is better than team, but they went with team. So now if it was me, I would just stick
I don't
with
think
the
they
team.
would switch from team to club.
Eric,
I think it's under consideration,
Eric,
Jason.